Welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. Last time we arrived in the Under, and this time we're actually going to be mostly concluding our business here. Our trip to the Under is pretty short, and it's kind of a shame. I'll talk more about that later. For now, though, I think Past Me kind of derps around a little bit because he didn't realize exactly what you need to do to progress the story. So it turns out that you have to go all the way up to the very side of this, and it's kind of picky about where you have to stand. But yeah, if you do that, then Silver will come and talk to you. And yeah, he got caught and beaten up again. But he did manage to grab something, the R disc. We actually need this. Remember the F disc from earlier? We're gonna find out what it's used for. Also, he says to free him if we get a key later, but I'm actually not sure when we do. So, the discs are for this thing, the UFO. The UFO is used to travel to various areas of the town. Now, the R disc is the one that progresses the plot, but I would recommend using the F disc first. The F disc is for forward. So, by going forward with the UFO, we can enter a kind of interesting location. Before we go in there, though, let's talk to this man here. Oh, look, Safari's own Warden callbacks. So that guy, if you've played the Gen 1 games, you'll know he's lost his false teeth. If we find them somewhere, he might give us a reward. Also, we have a herbal medicine shop here. These things are pretty much in most Pokemon games. They're relatively cheap, and they can heal quite a lot of HP, but they lower your Pokemon's happiness, so personally, I don't really like using them very much. Revival Herbs, though, are the only full revive item that you can buy, so that's at least something they have going for them. Also, not sure what that thing is in the tube there. The kanji on that sign, I think, say, like, Eastern Medicine or something. But anyway, in here, we have a new Colosseum, the Under Colosseum. This place you'll have already been spoiled on if you go into the battle mode. And it turns out they openly give out Shadow Pokemon here. But the main point of note, that's the reason why I came in here, is this elevator. Seems a bit weird, but it'll make sense in a second. So if we go up this elevator, we end up in an area outside, and if we leave, this lets us leave back to the world map, but more importantly, we can now return to the Under from the world map anytime we want without needing to go through Pyrite Town first and the elevator. So this is a really convenient shortcut that I'd recommend opening up as soon as you can. Kind of weird how they just let us enter here whenever we want, but it's definitely helpful. Also, the Colosseum has a free healing machine here, even though you can use the PC for that purpose too. Oh, look, there's a Makuhita. Yes, it's true. But we're not spies at all. Definitely not. What's down here? Okay, so down here is kind of interesting. As you can see, there's, we saw that guy in a cutscene earlier, so also those potted plants look like Sudowoodo. Guess that's what Sudowoodo disguises itself as. Guess he's a challenge champ, but unfortunately, that's all we can do down here for now. We'll need to find another entrance to this place. It's obviously important because we saw it in that cutscene before. Also, we can't enter the next Colosseum challenge. We need to wait for Venus to finish giving her prizes to the winner. And, maybe it was that guy down there. Firstly, though, we want to save and get our team ready for battle. Definitely get ready for battle, because we're going to have a pretty major fight on our hands. So, what can we do from here? Well, maybe we can use that R disc that we got. That's pretty much the only lead we have. If you look very closely, you might see an item all the way over on the other side of this abyss, but we need a different UFO disc to get that. For now, all we can do is use the R disc. So we're now set for travel in the rightward direction. Let's go. This UFO thing is kind of cool, I will admit. So obviously there are a few more discs for us to find. For now though, we only have F and R. And so we can enter this place here that has the same kind of door as Pyrite's Warehouse did. Now, I should mention that the battle that's coming up is a huge spike in levels. It's really kind of bizarre. They go all the way up to around level 45, so you actually might want to do some grinding here before doing anything else. Looks like Venus is ready to go live on air, and they've just let us waltz into where she is. So, 3 rare candies, that's actually going to be really helpful, considering that we're about to go up against a massive level jump, and doesn't seem like there's anything in here. Oh right, I only have 3 netballs. That's actually bad going into this fight. You want to make sure you have a lot of those. So for now, I'm actually going to be leaving here and going back to maybe make some more preparations. I will say, I actually did fail this fight once, so you will be seeing fail channel here. And it wasn't for the reasons that you might be thinking. Like I said, this fight is a really, really big difficulty spike. It is pretty annoying how it works. The levels jump up in a really huge way. Even the last random trainer we fought was only in the low 40s, but now they're suddenly in the mid 40s. I only have enough money for 5 netballs, though I swear these are cheaper in later generations, but this is going to have to do. Obviously, we've got a water-type snag coming up, so the 3 times catch rate with netballs against bug and water types is going to be very, very useful here. You want as many netballs as you can possibly buy. And yeah, here's where the shortcut back to the Under really helps, being able to head back here whenever we want without having to go all the way through Pyrite Town again. Okay, so it turns out that I didn't have enough room in my bag. Yeah, bag capacity, that's something that's a thing of the past in this series. So that means those rare candies went directly into my item PC storage, so I'm going to need to deposit a few items to make room for those rare candies, which I probably do intend to use at this point. Alternatively, I'm just going to use a few of these. Past me missed a perfectly good opportunity to give the Twisted Spoon to Espeon. Why haven't I done that yet? Yeah, gonna go ahead and store that. That's probably not gonna be very useful. Store the Macho Brace, because I probably won't be needing that. What the? What? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I have no idea why I didn't give Espeon the Twisted Spoon, but anyway. Okay, I think Past Me is only now realizing, oh wait, that item is perfect for Espeon. I think I completely forgot that I had it. That's really weird. Guess this is a benefit of me doing post-commentary, is you get to see my reactions to very bizarre things my past self did. Okay, so it's rare candy time. I only have 3 of these, unfortunately. Well, I can use them to get everyone up to level 37. Please tell me I finally took me long enough to actually do that. But now we're gonna save for this fight. So I'm actually cutting back here from a failed attempt. You'll see that, don't worry. But for now, I'm just gonna show the successful attempt first. And let's see who I end up bringing to this fight. Yeah, I decided to get rid of Ladian. That was one of my big mistakes. I was obviously trying to purify Ladian, because it is the only Shadow Pokemon I have that isn't purified, as you can see by the numbers here. But I could probably do that by off-camera grinding later. So for now, let's head out and fight Venus. As I said, this fight can be very, very difficult, so make sure you're prepared. Now, my levels are, for the most part, way too low for this. But I'm going to attempt this anyway. That's going to be a running theme for the boss fights from now on. Most of the boss fights are much higher level than the normal trainers in the area, and I really tried to minimize grinding where possible, so most of the time I took on fights very under-leveled from this point on. It was kind of a necessity. So, now we select the R disc again. Actually, what am I doing? I can cut straight to when we enter this building. So let's actually talk to the people here. They're not concerned that we're spies, they're concerned that we're wandering around the set. And, how does it rain underground? Admittedly, if you use Rain Dance, they find a way, somehow. So, hi there! Yeah, we just waltz into her hideout, and, she just battles us right here. Well, I guess everyone will see you losing live, because, hey, everyone watching this video, yeah, all of a sudden we're fighting Venus. It feels really abrupt to me, personally. I always felt like this whole understory arc felt very, very rushed. You just get here, fight a couple of Cypher Peons, and all of a sudden, you're just kicking down Venus's front door and battling her out of nowhere. It's probably why Venus is one of the least memorable Cypher admins to me in this game. But anyway, battling-wise, her gimmick is using Attract. So, she loves to be annoying and stall you out with status ailments. For now, it's just Attract, but she gets even, well, I don't want to really spoil that, but anyway, let's just say that it will get worse. For now, though, Kickface does excellently against these first two Pokemon, and there's a Delcatty, which is, like I said, one of the worst fully evolved Pokemon of all time. That Steelix is pretty tough, though. And a Banette, or a Bayonet, or however you want to pronounce that. Oh, hey, you're using Earthquake too. However, your partner does not have... Ow, that was powerful. Yeah, that's the same type of attack bonus on that Earthquake, but thankfully it hit very hard on its partner, thanks to its partner not having Protect, unlike your comrade Dakin. Now, don't use High Jump Kick on Banette, because that counts as it missing, and that will cause you to take crash damage. Okay, good, no crash damage there. Was that a... Wow, okay. Steelix has 200 base defense, so it surviving a crit high jump kick from Metachamp, I can kind of understand. But, anyway, it should quickly... Wow, that was... I'm getting lucky with these crits here. Not sure if I really needed it against that Banette, though. Probably would have just tried Attract. But anyway, Steelix is down. You'll see Steelix be a lot more annoying in the failed attempts, trust me. Also, you might notice that not all of the Pokemon are female, so you can't just bring all of one gender on your team to make yourself immune to Attract. Vileplume, and what's her next Pokemon going to be? Suicune! Well, we obviously know that that's a Shadow Pokemon, considering that Dakin had Shadow Entei. Yep, we have yet another Shadow Legendary Beast to fight. A lot of people have also said that they felt that the Legendary Beasts didn't really have enough build-up. It's like... Cypher admins suddenly start using them, and kind of out of nowhere. You'd think that them being able to turn a legendary Pokemon into a Shadow Pokemon would be a really big deal in story, but it's kind of just... They're treated just like any other random Pokemon. It's pretty weird. So, I understand that there probably could have been a bit more foreshadowing there. Now, who am I sending out here? I think I'm doing a double switch if I read my moves right. Sol is obviously here to take out Vileplume. And yeah, double switch. Gonna bring in the classic Sol and Jump Off combo, I guess, not Luna. Oh, I'm bringing you into, putting you to sleep, basically. Ow. No, Suicune isn't nearly as physically powerful as Entei. In fact, attack is its worst stat. Okay, good call there. That was almost certainly aimed at Feraligatr. Yes, it was. Jumpluff is usually the one who's dishing out the Giga Drains, but now it's taking one, and not taking very much damage from it. So let's try and take out that Vileplume as soon as possible before it starts to annoy me. And let's put that Suicune, I mean... Suicune is slightly more passive than Entei is, so it's a bit less of an immediate threat to put to sleep. But still, I kind of want to start its sleep soon. Actually, wait a minute, no, it doesn't have Aurora Beam yet. If it did, that'd be really bad for Jumpluff, but it does not. I know that for a fact. It learns Aurora Beam at level 41. Oh, okay, well that was lucky. Jumpluff would have been immune to that if this was a later generation. So this fight is going much more smoothly. You'll soon see a fight that does not go smoothly, and I'm just going to go ahead and Cotton Spore it just to make sure that I can very easily put it back to sleep again. Goodbye, Vileplume. Combining this with the failed take should give you a very good... That little twitch there is kind of funny. Should give you a very good idea of just how big a difference a good strategy makes for a fight, because the first time I went into this, exactly the same levels, I used the exact same team apart from Ladian, and everything went, well, it was a complete disaster, let's just say. But this made the fight look completely easy, so just goes to show how strategy can affect things. So now it's time to slowly weaken Suicune. This might take a while, but this is the reason why I recommended that you buy Netballs. Now, Suicune is very, very tanky, so you'll want to, well, actually not worry too much about it taking too much damage, because even Giga Drain, I'd feel pretty safe using Giga Drain against it, because, like I said, it's very, very bulky. I'll be getting to the bio soon, don't worry, but for now, like I said, Netball's definitely helpful here. You know what? Really, I should be just going for Giga Drain here, but I decided to go straight for just an Ultra Ball. I'm saving my Netball so it gets lower on health, I think. Netballs, again, 3 times catch rate versus water type, which is definitely helpful against Suicune. Kind of like how the crystals on Venus's dress match Suicune, and obviously that'd just be a one-shake. But it's always a good idea to spam Pokeballs whenever you can against these things. Speaking of which, I'm sure some people of you who are watching this series are wondering if I would ever address the Pokeball glitch in this game. So, there's a very famous glitch in this game where if you have your first Pokemon, use your first Pokemon's turn to throw a Snag Ball, and then use your second Pokemon's turn to go into items and rearrange that Pokeball with a different Pokeball, you'll still throw the Pokeball you chose for the first turn, but the Pokeball that's consumed will be the one that's now in its item slot. I hope that made sense. But what that means is you can essentially have the effect of one Pokeball while only consuming the uses of another. This obviously becomes very, very important once, well, not important, but very, very abusable once we get a certain Pokeball later in the game that, well, it was pretty inevitable we'd be getting one of these Pokeballs eventually. So I'll talk about it in more detail then, but suffice to say, I don't use this glitch in the entire game. And I think it was fixed in XD as well. In fact, I'm almost certain it was fixed in XD, or was it? I'm actually not sure. But it is a pretty infamous, I guess you could call it a glitch. It's kind of weird the way that it works, but it's basically a glitch. And it is kind of infamous, so I thought that I might as well address it at some point. So at this point, I could be using that glitch to throw net balls with the same effect as Ultra Balls. Well, no, I mean, wait, no. Throw the effective net balls, but have the Ultra Balls consumed. Or even just regular Pokeballs. Yeah, I should probably switch to netballs at this point. But I'm slowly whittling it down with return. It's the main reason why— oh, that was— okay. I need to catch Suicune ASAP, otherwise it risks knocking itself out with Shadow Rush. And I really, really don't want that. So this is really bad. Let's go for the netballs right now. I think I saved these for emergencies. Netball, and I don't really know what to do here. I guess I can use a Lemonade to heal Sol. I really hope I catch this thing soon, otherwise I'm in trouble. Of course, you already know this is a successful attempt, but anyway. Netballs also have kind of a cool animation when sending a Pokemon out from them. 1, 2, 3... Suicune gets! Suicune, the Water-type legendary beast, and yet another great Pokemon to use in this game. Suicune's stat build is mostly based around defense. It's got great HP and good stats in both defenses, but it's no slouch offensively either, at least from the special side, and its speed is decent as well, so Suicune's a great all-rounder. Its high HP and defensive stats also mean it benefits from pressure the most out of all of the legendary beasts by far, and in fact of most legendaries period. Most main story battles aren't going to go on long enough for PP stalling to be a viable tactic, but against opponents who use moves with low PP, it can help sometimes. As far as moves go, Suicune doesn't have a great move pool, but unlike Entei, it has just enough that it needs, mainly water and ice moves. It comes with Surf, which is nice, although you might notice that I say Surf/Hydro Pump there. This is something kind of interesting, and I believe Suicune is the only Shadow Pokemon in this whole game to do this. If you snag Suicune at the latest possible time that you can, which actually isn't until the post-game, so I really wouldn't put it off that long. But if you do, it'll know Hydro Pump instead of Surf. I don't think any other Shadow Pokemon does this, but really, I'd prefer Surf in most cases. And in only one level after catching it, Suicune learns Aurora Beam. While it's not as good as Ice Beam, it'll definitely serve you well as an ice move until you have enough Pokecoupons to afford Ice Beam. And trust me when I say, you will want a good ice move for the final fights in the game. Suicune's other starting moves are pretty useless though. Leer, just like Entei, and Gust, which is only a 40 base power physical move, no thanks. And via TM, really the main thing you want to teach here is Ice Beam. Although Toxic and Reflect are options if you want to play to Suicune's more defensive stats. Weirdly enough, it doesn't get Light Screen, despite getting Reflect. Oh yeah, and you also have Rain Dance after Purification to boost your Surfs even further. Although there'll be a bit of conflict if you're already using Entei on your team. Overall though, Suicune is a fantastic Pokemon to use in this game, as you'd expect. And with that, we have defeated Venus. Of course, things didn't go smoothly on the first attempt. You sure about that? Everyone on YouTube's watching. Of course, they're also going to watch me lose horribly. And so they all run. But she ran in a different direction than they did, down those stairs. Obviously, that's what we have to pursue. But we have another Iron File F. We now know the appearance of the person writing these. Final report already? So, I talked about this already. This is alluding to how nature affects it. You'd think that it would have been a bad idea for them to make Shadow Pokemon not able to gain experience. But anyway, this doesn't seem to work, so we can't talk to Totally Not Sephiroth. But in here we find TM45. Gee, I wonder what that is. Oh, it couldn't be, yeah, it's a tract. Kind of funny how I never got to see her use it in that fight, but that is pretty much her signature move. So for now, our next destination is down those stairs. In fact, do I end up going there or not? I think I... Well, we actually did get fully healed from that fight, which is kind of weird. Either that or I'm pretty sure we did get fully healed, because Feraligatr did take some damage from that earthquake. So, I'd actually recommend going down here now, because we can now unlock... So yeah, we're back here now, and we can unlock this door. We see Venus running away. Just to give an indication of where she's going. We can open this area. And that means that we can now access this place via the Colosseum, which is convenient because it has a PC and a healing machine. So that's where I'll be stopping for now. I'll be cutting to the failed take after I save here. And there I think I'll be discussing a little bit more about... firstly, we can check out Shadow Suicune here. But firstly, we'll be talking a little bit about... Yeah, during the failed attempt, I'll be talking a little bit about just what I think of this whole storyline overall, and I guess a few issues that I do have with Colosseum's story. But anyway, that'll be for later. I'm so sorry for Alligator, but I've kind of got a stronger water type now, and I really, really, really like Suicune, so... Sadly, I might be replacing you from now on, and in fact... No, definitely don't do Release. Don't do Release. I want the option to take its Mystic Water, I think. I could try Purifying Lady in a bit here, but I think I'd rather do it in off-camera grinding. Hey, I have 2 Legendary Beasts now. And let me just say, this is actually going to be my main team going forward for the rest of the game. I'll also talk about that a bit later, because I don't really have much time left now. So, see you for the Fail channel. So, here was my first attempt at fighting Venus, which, like I said, did not go so well. But as I promised, let me just talk a little bit about something that does kind of bother me about this game's storyline. From this point on, it feels like they just kind of rushed it. So everything up till now, I felt was decently paced overall. Even Dakim got a decent amount of build-up. He was mentioned before by another Cypher member, and you got to fight through some trainers on Mount Battle to get to him, and he at least was doing something kind of plot-relevant, well, at least that you knew he was threatening Vander. And then you get the Under arc, where, like I said, you just go to the Under, you talk to some people down there, fight 2 Cypher members, and then all of a sudden, bang, you're fighting Venus. It just feels like they really could have taken this arc a bit further, and that's how pathetic Ladian is. Oh look, it's Ladian Well, I guess that's a match made in heaven. You might notice that Venus is leading with different Pokemon here. I'm not sure if it depends on what you're leading with, or if it depends on, or if it's just random. Probably the AI psychically reads what you're leading with and changes her leads accordingly. She'll never lead with Suicune, though. But anyway, I just feel like... really, of all the Cypher admins, Mirror B was the only one who actually got a proper story arc devoted to them. And that might be part of the reason why, well, I mean, other than, you know, just being Mirror B, but that might be part of the reason why he's by far the most popular character in this game. And that a lot of the other Cypher admins aren't talked about that much. I mean, Dakim is memorable for the fact that he's the first fight you see where the game really stops messing around. Double Edge is normally quite powerful, but coming from Delcatty, actually that did quite a lot, but Espeon's pretty fragile. But yeah, Dakim has that factor going for him. Iron, even though we haven't fought him yet, he's writing all of the Iron reports, so at least we got build up, and he has really big story relevance as the creator of Shadow Pokemon, so you really do feel some desire to take him down, and that's not good. Especially attacking a normal type. But Venus is just kind of... I feel like I would have remembered her role in this game a lot more if... like, she would have been a more memorable antagonist, is what I mean. And here's one of the few times that a Ghost type actually uses its Shadow Ball same type attack bonus. Not that it does much against Umbreon. That would have devastated Metacham. Why didn't you use it against Kickface? But yeah, I would have found her more memorable as an antagonist if her arc had just been a little bit more developed. It feels very rushed. Like I said, you're just suddenly fighting her without all that much build-up. And that is a problem that this game does suffer from. At this point in the game, the plot moves at kind of a breakneck pace. You go straight from Venus right into the next major arc, and then right into the, well, I'll just say it now, the final arc. It all goes by pretty quickly. And this is something that, looking back on this game, and yeah, I was right about it possibly devastating Kickface. Looking back on this game, that is one weakness that I see with it, is the story. However, I will say that it was admittedly Pokemon's first try at doing a full storyline based around an evil team. They later started doing this in the main series, and I feel like Colosseum was definitely a really big part of the series in that it helped lay the groundwork for future storylines like that. But you really can tell it was their first try here. The plot, I feel, overall is not the best, but it is saved just by the world being so unique and memorable for a Pokemon game, the music being great, and the characters actually being pretty good. So, I still enjoy this game's story mode a lot. Wow, nice survival there. And the battles are quite challenging and memorable as well, and I love the whole snagging system. So, all of that goes somewhere to making up for it, but if you just look at the core plot on its own, it does feel a little bit lackluster to me. Once again, Banette's biggest threat was her own Pokemon. So, once again, the Shadow Suicune comes out, but at this point, my team is pretty devastated. Really, though, to me, I think the wrong things that I did in this fight was, well, I chose the wrong leads, definitely. I probably shouldn't have had Kickface out against the net. I probably should have switched out, because Shadow Ball was going to hit it very, very hard. And if I still had Kickface around, I'd be able to take out this Steelix much more easily. And also, I'm using Ladian. That's another problem with this team. But it didn't really make much of a difference, because the one who replaced Ladian in my actual final attempt at this fight never even got to fight. So, really, using Ladian didn't make much of a difference. And so Luna goes down. You can probably tell where this is going already. At least I still have Jumpluff. Although I wanted to save Jumpluff for later. I wanted to get rid of that Steelix just so I could focus down on Suicune alone with Jumpluff. And I'm so glad for Surf not hitting your partner in this game. But yeah, its split damage means that Steelix is going to take quite a few hits from it. Okay, I also want Steelix out of the way because it's going to be attacking Suicune. Well, at least Ladian's typing is good for one thing. It is doing quite a bit of damage, so it should go down now, thankfully. And Suicune's going for Shadow Rush, which is probably going to knock out Feraligatr, which means that Steelix is going to live to see another day because I don't have my Surf user here, and that means it's going to Earthquake again. Well, it might Earthquake again. I don't know why I sent out Soul. I'm most likely sending Soul out into another Earthquake. Oh, look, Lady and Shadow Rush. That's going to do a lot of damage. Yep, real ton of damage right there. Now, what's Steelix gonna do? Rock Slide! That's even worse. That's much worse. Because not only is that gonna finish off Soul, it's definitely gonna finish off Ladian, because quad weakness combined with stab, combined with terrible defense and HP. Goodbye, Ladian, I'm so sorry. So, all I have left is Jumpluff, who happens to be weak to Rock Slide. This is not good. Of course, if I can Giga Drain that Steelix, though, I just have to... I kind of feel like I should have maybe gone for Sleep Powder against Steelix, because, yeah, Steelix survived that. I had a feeling it would. And that means I'm in danger of being Rock Slided. If I had used Sleep Powder on Steelix, maybe I could have bought more time to finish it off with a couple of Giga Drains. Because Suicune is not that much of a threat to Jumpluff. Looking back, that's probably what I should have done. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no, Jumpluff is now falling for a sexy steel snake. Yeah, let's not even think about that too hard. Oh no! No, Jumpluff! No, Jumpluff! Do not fall for the sexy Steelix! Track causes some pretty silly things to happen sometimes. And that's not the last time we'll be seeing silliness with the track in this game. And, well, yeah, the sexy Steelix repays the attraction with a rock to the head. So, that was pretty bad. And that was my first attempt at fighting Venus.